I just finished doing some training. Of course, I was training the Ziglar philosophies to my team and teaching them how to, find the needs and understand how to build a relationship with people, and then obviously try to persuade them to do what's in their best interest, which is to buy a membership. Well, by the time I was done my training, I was wiped out. I went and sat in my office, and as I was sitting there, one of my employees came in and said, "Chris, you're going to want to take this next person around the health club." I said, "Why in the world would I do that? I just did all this training. That's your job. Go do it." He said, "You don't understand. You're going to want to take this next person around the club." And he dropped the driver's license on my desk, and I looked down, and it said Zig Ziglar. This was not set up, guys. This was happenstance. I had no idea that Zig Ziglar lived in Plano, Texas. This was my hero. This was my icon. This is the dude that changed my life. So I shook it off. I said, "All right, time to man up. I'm going to go sell Zig Ziglar something." So I went out there and I did everything by textbook, everything that he taught, shook his hand. "Mr. Ziglar, let me show you through the different elements of the club." And we got down into the closing room. And this is where you're supposed to sell the membership, right? Well, he taught something called the witch close. And what that is if you open up the book, it says, "Hey, you can buy this membership monthly, or you can pay in full and save yourself 15%. Which would you prefer?" I remember Mr. Ziglar at that point, he looked at me, and he took his eyeglasses and he put them way down on his nose. That's intimidating if you're talking to an older man you respect. He looked at me and said, "Son, you know who I am, don't you?" And I lost my mind. "Oh, yeah, of course, Mr. Ziglar. Oh, you're the greatest thing that's ever walked the planet. I can't believe I'm here talking to you. I was in the nosebleeds, and here you are. I can see if your nose is bleeding." It was crazy. Long story short, I sold him a membership. Woohoo! How about for me, selling Zig Ziglar? Come on, give me some. Thank you. So you have to have goals. One of the things that we do, I actually teach, I do workshops. I have a 7-step goal setting workshop. It's a formula that we put together, and I take all of my employees through it, and then I sit down with each of them and I say, "What do you want? What are you here for? What are you trying to accomplish? What would be the ideal situation for you?" And you wouldn't believe some of the simple things that our employees want. "Man, I would just like to have an extra day of vacation because of X, Y, and Z. Man, if I could just figure out how to get out of debt, that would really help me a lot. Man, if I could just bring my dog into the office once in a while." Really? Now, I have the luxury to do some of these things because I own the company, right? But some of these little tiny things bring people out of a disengaged mode. All of a sudden, they're in an engaged mode, and they're helping grow the company. But you got to sit down and you got to talk to your people. Now, some of you frontline managers, one of the things that I would recommend to you, get to know your people. It's this whole authoritarian thing that's gone on for decades and decades. It's really not working so much anymore based on the studies. What people want is a relationship. They want to know that you care. They want to know that it's not you telling them what to do and they better follow suit or else. It's just not working anymore, guys. I'll tell you what, I've got a team that would run through a wall for me. And that's because they know I would run through a wall for them first. That's the type of corporation you want to build. That's the type of company that's going to go to the next level. I got one more Zig Ziglar story. By the way, how many of you do know who Zig Ziglar is or have heard of him? Wow. All right. Good group. So Zig and I, we went in, and of course I was supposed to train him. I was going to do the physical fitness for him. And one of the first times we went in, he just bypassed me. This is a real driven individual, and he's not used to people telling him what to do. So he went and he sat down at this bicep machine, and he didn't check the weight or anything else. He just jumped on there and he started pulling. And I said, "Whoa, that's too much weight in my mind." And then he kept pulling, and he's getting a little bit redder. And I'm like, "Hey, Zig, slow down. You don't have to really do that much." And he completely ignored me, and he kept pulling, and he kept pulling, and he kept pulling. And he's getting like angrier as he's pulling. And the more I'm trying to stop him, the more he's pulling this hard weight. And I'm thinking in my mind, "Oh my gosh, he's purple. He's got this jugular vein. He's going to die on my watch. It's going to be in the Dallas Morning News. Idiot trainer kills Ziglar, the greatest man alive." I'm having all these thoughts that are going through my mind. Well, he gets to the end of it, and he drops the weight, and he's sweating profusely, and he reaches over the bench, and he grabs me by my lapel, and he pulls me in real slow. And he says, "Son, you don't have to enjoy everything you do in life." And he let me go. Yes, sir. What am I going to say at that point? Here I thought I was training him, and he was training me. So what does that have to do with you guys? I know a few things about training because training changed my life. Education changed my life. Applying myself in all of these different skills brought me to where I am today.